はい、それでは牧場襲撃犯の目撃者の赤髪のジャンだっけ。まあ目撃者探し続けていきましょう。もう間もなく会えますね、本人に。いや、全然もう目標マーカーなかったらこんな森の中進めませんね。これ本当の森の中だ。こんなとこ怖すぎですわ。馬と旅するって。とりあえず炭焼き小屋に戻りましたね。これで追っ手を始末してきたんで、
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
I found those bandits and took care of them.
I'm glad to hear it. If it's true.
If you don't believe me, I can take you to their bodies.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Ginger's hiding out in a ruined hut not far from here. You go north along the road to Ujits until you see a path to the right that leads to a spring. There's an overgrown path from there that'll lead you to where Ginger is. But it's easy
名
to
前
miss it.
Thank you.
ジンジャーでしたね。ちゃんじゃなくて赤髪のジンジャー。この近くに住んでるみたいですね。まあ目標マーカーを目指して一直線なんですけどね。おお、本当の山小屋だな。
It's not my fault. There was nothing I could have done to help. I was frozen solid. I couldn't even open my mouth. I couldn't even get a peep out. They would have killed me if I'd said anything. I couldn't stop what happened. I'm not to blame.
Jesus, you've led me a merry dance.
What do you want from me?
I want to ask you a couple
本
of
当に
questions.
出会うまで長かったですね。
Where are your
炭
clothes?
が焼き
Why
職
did you
人
kill
の
that bandit?
集落3つも4つもたらい回しにされ
Right,
て、
one thing at a time. Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
To get revenge on you for killing their mate?
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
Go and ask them if it's important to you.
Would you? You'll definitely have their respect, the way you took care of those cutthroats.
とりあえず話を聞いて、ジンジャーの身体をどうするかですね。また牧場で雇ってくれるかどうか聞きに戻らなきゃならなくなって戻ってきました。逃げ出したんで、また雇ってくれるでしょうかね。
Good afternoon.
I found Ginger. He begged me to ask if he can return, man.
Why should I take him back? It might be his fault I had to bury my husband.
What?
厳しそうですね。
Why
戻って
else
く
would
る
he
の
flee
が。
but guilt? The men said they didn't see him in bed. He didn't have a clean conscience because he gave those murderers a signal.
That's not true. He fled because one of the attackers recognized him and Ginger was afraid he'd come back and kill him.
Those are just excuses. He wouldn't dare come back.
But they came back the very same day. If he hadn't run, they'd have killed him and everyone else.
But why would they do that?
Why not? They'd already murdered several people. Why not a few more?
And now I'm supposed to take him back. What if they come back for him and kill one of my daughters in the process?
The cutthroats who were after him have been taken care of. And the rest have no reason to return here.
And what about for revenge? I can't take him back.
I understand your concerns, but you just need to ask Sahanish to leave you a guard. Those bandits might be willing to take on a few stable boys, but not an armed soldier.
I'd definitely feel better if someone was here a few days to keep watch.
It can be arranged. I'm sure Sir Bernard won't object.
Good then. Let the lad come back again.
おお、話まとまりましたね、なんとか。じゃあまだこのことをジンジャーに報告ですね。
You can return home. It was hard work to convince them, so please don't get into trouble when you go back.
Thank you. I'd like to give you something, but I've got nothing except if you're ever traveling by way of Neuhof, stop by and I'll show you something with the horses.
to とりあえず牧場襲撃犯の目撃者のジンジャーはもうジンジャーの件は解決したんで報告ですね。あとは牧場襲撃犯の報告をしてここまでですね。今回は報告まで。なんか機嫌悪そうだな、隊長。
I had to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzi, eh? I really don't know, my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed. Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. I'd like to kick your arse back to the castle and be shut of you. But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering. It's my job to whip you into shape, so I'm not done with you yet. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks. Because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I hope we've got that out of the way. I've made myself absolutely clear. Now, let's hear what you have to report.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it, then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway.
それと今回から部屋の暖房ヒーターつけてプレイしてるんで、なんか暖房ヒーターの音入ってたらすいません。今日はここまでですね。報告終わったら終了ということで。
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujits, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Ujits then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir. Why choose Merhoyed?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
The trail leads to Ujits. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubosh.
I see. What else?
That's all I found out so far, sir.
All right.
まあいちいち全部報告しましたけど、今回はここまでですね。ご視聴ありがとうございました。次回もよろしくお願いします。それでは。もうみんな去ってくんだな、ここ。あ、隊長も去っていくのか。それでは。